What's up, everybody? So today we're going to make this nice and easy. I've had several people ask me, how do you do a taper or a high taper with detachable blade clippers? So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start first though by doing a number 2 open with the purple magnetic guard. I'm using my S.Craft metal instincts and they have a master blade on them so that I could use my purple magnetic guards. But once again, it's a number 2 all the way open. As you can see, I'm not going all the way down in the back because that would be a waste of time, because I'm going to taper into that. So we're just trying to give us a good clean canvas, and he prefers a number 2 all the way open on the sides. Then we're going to go ahead and just taper right into that. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set our first guideline with our trimmers. And now he gets a cut every single week. So he's a faithful client. So I'm just going to go ahead and clean out this area. Once again, not a whole lot to cut off, but we're going to establish that first guideline. And I'm just tapping at the line with the corners to kind of, set it up for this taper. Now I'm going to go ahead and shave underneath that. Notice I don't go all the way up to the line. I stay just a little bit below the line. Now I'm going to come in with my OA blade and create my second guideline. Notice I'm using a lot of the corners just because I feel like it doesn't leave as harsh of a line. But for the most part, I try to put the pressure kind of towards the middle of the blade, not at the back of the blade, at the heel of the blade, or at the tip of the blade, but more in the middle, which would be called the hilt of the blade. And I'll tap around just to try to take out any darker spots that I see. Now I'm going to drop back down to my 000 blade or 3/0 blade, and I'm just going to, there again, tie those two sections together. And if I see any little dark spots, I'm going to hit those while I'm there. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab my 1A blade, which is equivalent to around a number 1 guard. And I'm going to go up and create my next section. And then once I have that situated, I'll come back and grab my 1 blade, my number 1 blade, and tie those sections together as well. But as you can see, whenever I create that section, I'm looking at any little dark spots that I see, and I'm trying to hit those as well. So now with the number 1 blade, I come over and I tie those sections together, and I just lightly with the corner tap at any little dark spots that I see so we can get this thing looking blurry on the way up. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and grab my number 2 blade. And I'm just going to flick that right into the 2 open that we did earlier with the purple magnetic guard. If I see any dark spots, then I'll go ahead and tap at them to try to blend it better. But also, I like to hit at angles a lot of times because I feel like whenever you do it at an angle, it lifts up those hairs and cuts them easier. Now I'm going to drop back down and grab my 1.5 blade and just tie those sections together. Notice there again, I'm using a lot of the corners of the blade to kind of feather those together. As you can see, as I see little dark spots, I just continue to try to hit at those dark spots. If I can remove them with that blade, then that's a great thing. If not, I'll just drop down a blade lower and tap a little bit more, or I'll come back with my shears or my thinning shears at the end and just hit those spots to tie this blend together. When I'm having problems hitting any dark spots with a particular blade, that's whenever I will go to the side or hit it from different angles to try to lift up those hairs in the dark spot to knock them out. As you can see, I was having trouble knocking those dark spots out. So I went ahead and came in with that number 1 blade, which is a blade lower than the 1.5. And now I just lightly with the corners come in, tapping at any little dark spots that I see. I really don't use a lot of pressure whenever I'm cutting hair. All right, now we're just gonna go ahead and put a line up on that front vertical bar so that way we can see what we're doing. I've said many times before that a lot of times it's like putting the picture in the frame. Once you put that, line up on it, it just kind of makes the fade pop out more, and you can see some things that you couldn't see before, and start tapping at those. Now with my trimmer, I'll come in there again with just the very corner of that blade, and I'll just tap at any little dark spots or lines that I see. Now we're gonna go ahead and line up the back and around the ear. I usually wait to the end to do the back taper because that's the area that I'm gonna be finishing on, by cleaning up the neck and stuff like that. So usually I'll do one side, then the other side, and then, I'll just taper out the back right before I clean up the neck. Now, same thing with the other side. We're gonna go ahead and establish that first guideline with the trimmers. Try to make it as clean as possible. Then we'll come in with the shavers and shave right up underneath that. Not going all the way up to the line, but almost, right up to the line. Right now I'm using the Gamma Boosted that Gamma sent me, and they're pretty cool. They have the 2, shaving foils, but in the middle of that, they have like a crunch blade or something that really knocks down longer hairs. So you might want to check that out. So now we're going to go ahead and go into the OA to create that next section. What we do on one side, we do on the other, and it's the same thing that I would do in the back. Now I'm going to go ahead and grab the 000 blade, which is the blade right underneath the OA blade. So I'm going to just drop back down after I created that guideline, and I'm just going to tie these 2 sections together the best that I can. If I see any dark spots, I hit those dark spots with the corner of my blade, not using very much pressure at all. Now we're going to jump right into the 1A blade and create that next guideline. So now we're going to jump into this number 2 blade, and we're just going to kind of float it right off the head into that 2 open that we did with the purple guard. See, using the corner of the blade, I'm trying to get in there and knock out that dark line the best that I can, but I know that I'm going to come in with that 1.5 blade to tie it together. But even when I went over the ear there, I was only using the corner of the blade, but I was just turning it at an angle. Now with the 1.5 blade, I'm going to come in and tie those panels together, and then we can come back and do some touch-up work. As you can see down towards the very first guideline, there's still, dark areas. It's a little bit thicker there as far as the hair and the density. So I gotta just get in there and clean that up. whatever you do, you want to make sure that you find your system that works best for you. Whenever I do detachable blades, if I don't fade down with them, most of the time I do the skip blade technique, which is just a system that works good for me, and I feel like that it's almost an effortless blend. There are times where I'll have to come back, like right now with that OA blade, and just do that touch-up work, in the darker areas that I see. But just remember where your panels were, so that way whenever you grab your blades, you know what sections you need to hit with those blades. There again, very lightly with the corners, I'm just tapping at, the line and the different dark spots to just try to tie this thing together a little bit more. Once I have my blend established, I'll come in, put on some color enhancement, and just kind of lightly hit it up and across the vertical bars and across the front. See, just a couple little sprays just to give them some color there, make it look a little bit fuller. I'll come in with the razor blade and clean that up just to make it look sharper. But something that I like to do, once I put the color on there, you'll see in just a moment, I'll take a brush, and I really like to use a really soft bristle brush. I love this JRL brush that I have. One side is real hard for like waves or cleaning off your clippers and trimmers, but the other side's real soft like a baby brush, and I just kind of try to smear that color in a little bit so it lightens it up. Then I come in with my thinning shears or my regular shears, and I just kind of point cut in little dark areas. As you can see right here, there's a significant dip that he has at the, parietal ridge area, which made it a little darker, and the transition wasn't as smooth as I like. So I just come in and I try to soften that up. See, I'll use the full blade for the most part to knock out that weight. And then if I see any little dark spots, I'll just use the tip of my blades to just really single out those dark spots. Like right here, I'll just tap those and try to tie this together. And I'll do this all the way around the head. There again, with thinning shears or with my regular shears. And once I do that, man, I just give it the look in the mirror, make sure that we hit all of our dark spots to the best of our ability. And then that's about it. So this is the final cut. Tell me what you think. If you like it, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and all that good stuff. God bless you. Peace. I'm out of here.